My name is Sunny Angulo, and I'm going to take you through this evening's celebration of our colleague, our friend, our public servant, Kevin Benedicto, who was recently appointed to the Police Commission, becoming the first Filipino-Chinese police commissioner. Cindy's half Filipina, but you still have that distinction, Kevin, so there you go. And so to start off, I don't know if maybe, Kevin, you wanted to say a few words, or should we just interject after? I would like to invite up my shadow District 3663 supervisor, Alan Lowe, my former, hiding behind the tree, such a former Rec and Park commissioner. Look at you. Alan, take it away.
Thank you, future District 6 Supervisor Sunny. We're here for Kevin, though, right? We're here for Kevin.
No, Sunny's the next one. The next one.
All right. First of all, Kevin, I want to say thank you for having this event here in D6. It just shows your love for the community, and so thank you. Thank you for having this event. Folks, my name is Alan Lowe. I am just an attorney, and I had the pleasure of meeting Kevin 6 or 7 years ago when you first made the attempt to go into the police commission. We sat for a cup of coffee, and he started to talk to me about criminal justice, about breaking the cycle of incarceration, and all the things he did with the Bar Association of San Francisco, the Corderone, am I pronouncing that right? Corderone Institute, and all the work he was doing in this area. And I walked away from that coffee and saying, damn, that guy's got game, and he's gonna go places. And my man crush on him continued as I followed him through his ABA career. We have Lisa Mack here from ABA, president of ABA. And I watched him take over the Civil Rights Committee as the chair, pull together 15 different bar associations to address anti-AAPI hate and coordinating victim services. And he went on and also led ABA in allyship with the Charles Houston Bar Association. And you know, his community work doesn't stop there. Went on with the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights on election reform and fair elections. And when I saw the Board of Supervisors appoint Kevin to the Police Commission, I said, hell yes, we finally did something right. We appointed someone who knows what he's talking about. No agenda here, but we expect you to get shit done. So Kevin, congratulations. Go out and get shit done. Congratulations again.
Oh wow, okay, well if Alan says you have to do it, then you really have to do it, because he will text you, he will hound you forever. And now I just wanted to go ahead and also recognize, because I know there's a couple of folks that might have to leave soon, so I wanted to recognize our chief, our police chief, Chief Scott, for being in the house tonight. Deputy Chief Lazar, I don't know if you're leaving as well, but you can't go anywhere, you gotta represent. And then I saw our city attorney, David Chu, is here as well, also behind the tree. Mano, our public defender, thank you so much for being here. And I thought I saw our district attorney, Chase Boudin, as well. Yes, waving from inside. Okay, and there will be potentially more electeds coming through, so just don't ignore them. So now I'd like to invite up Yolanda Jackson, the Executive Director and General Counsel of the Bar Association of San Francisco. Yeah, is that? ¿Está bien?
How many lawyers does it take?
Good evening, everybody, and I am not surprised at all to see all of these dignitaries in the room to celebrate Kevin Benedicto. I am so thrilled to be here to witness your onboarding to the commission. You are the first Filipino American to serve on this commission. It's one of the largest commissions and best commissions in the country. And this is a historic day. Well, whenever you got sworn in, I know it was before today, but it was a historic day for you to be sworn in, again, to represent the Filipino community and to do it with all of the incredible hard work that you do, Kevin. So since the time Kevin became a lawyer, he has been a badass. He only got licensed in 2015. In 2016, he joined the Bar Association of San Francisco, or maybe even a little bit before that, but he became a part of our Criminal Justice Task Force. Our Criminal Justice Task Force was created after the Michael Brown shooting in Missouri. And we decided that lawyers have a unique role in this place of police reform. We know how to research and write better than any other profession. And we put our skills to work. And we have been going every month since 2015 when the task force was created. And Kevin has been an incredible hard worker ever since he stepped on to the onto the task force. He has served on subcommittees on tasers in San Francisco. He was our representative to several police department working groups, which were put together after the DOJ came in and gave recommendations on how to make things better. He served on the working group for community policing, for use of force, and the bias working group. He drafted our BASF letter that the Bar Association sent out for the Be the Jury pilot. That is where we will pay jurors a fair day's wage to serve jury duty in San Francisco. He drafted the BASF letter and spoke in front of the Board of Supervisors on San Francisco pretrial services, continuing to do the pretrial work during no money bail. He coordinated the effort to get his firm, Morgan, Lewis & Bockius, to represent the Bar Association pro bono, to do research and to address the overuse of the meet and confer process in San Francisco, which is often used to just delay policy making. They also helped with advising the Board of Supervisors on Prop E. That was the proposition that finally, after a lot of time, indicated that we don't have a minimum number of police officers in this city. No matter what is happening, we had to have a minimum number of police officers, which, thank you to the chief, he thought that was a ridiculous rule, so Prop E passed, and now he can actually run a department by looking at the statistics to see what's going on with criminal law in criminal justice in San Francisco, and to look at what his staff needs to get done. But because of Morgan, Lewis & Bockius, who really stepped out as a national firm and took a risk in a very risky place in terms of criminal reform, they did it, and both of those efforts worked very well and helped to change this city in that regard. So outside of his criminal justice task force work, Kevin currently serves on our Barristers Club Board of Directors. He received the Barristers Club Diversity Award since he's been involved. He serves on the Barristers Club Diversity and Inclusion Committee, Pro Bono Committee, and Wellness Committee. He has helped to organize panels and programs on criminal justice reform and voting rights. And he's also was recommended by the Bar Association to be appointed to the San Francisco Superior Court Elimination of Bias Committee. So he represents, along with Kelly Marioshi, they serve on the Elimination of Bias Committee for the San Francisco Superior Court. And my favorite, because I pushed really hard for this, last year, Kevin received the highest award that the Bar Association of San Francisco gives, and he was our Award of Merit winner in 2021. Congratulations, Kevin. Again, I deal with a lot of lawyers every day, and for someone who is so new to the profession, you have jumped in with both feet and said you're going to make a difference in the community that surrounds you, and we thank you that you are part of our family doing this work.
And I should say, Yolanda Jackson, the Bar Association of San Francisco is the best in the country. You are a guiding light locally. We are very indebted to all of your hard work. Thank you so much for being so supportive of lawyers. Mr. Benedicto, on behalf of my 230 colleagues in San Francisco at the Morgan Lewis Law Firm, where Kevin has called home for 7 years now, hard to believe, I want to offer my sincerest congratulations. I cry a lot, sorry. This is a truly tremendous honor, well-deserved. And I want to congratulate and commend the San Francisco community for recognizing Kevin's talents. And I want to talk very briefly about two of them. The first is Kevin is an exceptional communicator. We recognized this within the first month he was at the firm. He became the de facto master of ceremonies for all events. Whether it was trivia in the afternoon or putting on a global webinar where clients from all over the world would sign on, Kevin is an amazing communicator. Now, I know I'm putting pressure on you, have to give a speech here in a minute, so I'm sorry about that. But he is organized and thoughtful and genuine, and people really listen to him, and he listens to them. I think that's a really important skill that will be put to good use on the commission. Second, Kevin is a community builder. There is not a shred of divisiveness in this person. He is a great mentor and mentee. He seeks advice, he listens, and he collaborates at every turn. And I can't think of a more important quality to have than somebody on the San Francisco Police Commission that can communicate and find common ground, practical solutions, and that is Kevin Benedicto. His pro bono practice, as you just heard, is prolific, and he has changed lives. At the micro level, I've been very proud to see him represent people in asylum cases, transgender women at the border who were pushed away from their country in horrible circumstances and showed up in the United States at the border, and to put it politely, met challenging circumstances when they arrived. And Kevin and a team of lawyers went down and won that case and really represented the profession well. He's done guardianship cases, family violence appellate project, appeal briefs, and you heard all of the macro level policy stuff that Yolanda talked about. Our profession, for the lawyers in the room, is often maligned. We're the butt of jokes, probably for good reason. But this is important to remember, and my message is to use Kevin as an example. It is a noble profession. And at this point in our country's history, when constitutional rights are literally being rolled back, when people still don't have a voice, we need people like Kevin to be a guiding light in our communities, to stand up and to give people a voice. And so I'm so proud that Kevin has done that. This is a logical step in his professional career. He's going to be great. That's a promise, and we're very, very fortunate to know you. And congratulations, Kevin.
A quick word. I first met Kevin about 6 or 7 years ago when I was on the police commission, and after 5 or 6 hours of public comment and meetings, he would then call me at night and tell me, but there's one thing that you missed, right? You need to do a little bit more. And I'm just so impressed that we have an applicant and a new police commissioner who has done the work before going on the police commission. I think he probably has the record of attending the most police commission meetings before he was actually appointed onto the commission. I think it's a great thing to have that level of talent and energy and enthusiasm for what he wants to do on the commission. It's really a gift to our city to have him on this commission. So with that, I'm going to give him the mic to swear him in. Raise your right hand. I, Kevin Benedicto,
I, Kevin Benedicto,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support and defend
the
Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United
and the
States
State of California,
and the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
and that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter,
the duties upon which I'm about to enter,
and during such time as I serve
and during such time as I serve
as a San Francisco Police Commissioner.
as a San Francisco Police Commissioner.
Further, that I will always serve the community.
And further, that I will always serve the community.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
One last thing is, I was told by Deputy Chief Lazar that's a tradition within the police department when somebody gets a promotion, before they are actually given a badge, to be lent a badge before they actually receive the badge. And with that, I had brought my police commissioner badge today to pass on to Kevin. And And then he stole my thunder by saying the police department was so efficient they already gave him one. But at least for a moment, I'm going to hand him my badge.
Everyone so much for being here today, and if you'll indulge me, I'll speak for a few minutes before letting you get back to the food and drink. I'd like to thank Alan Lowe, Brian ROCCA, and Yolanda Jackson for such kind introductions, and to Judge Victor Huang for swearing me in. I'd like to recognize our event sponsors, the Asian American Bar Association of the Greater Bay Area, the Filipino Bar Association of Northern California, the API Counsel, and Morgan Lewis for making this evening possible. I'd like to ask for a round of applause for our volunteers who've been helping dish out drinks, for our Master of Ceremonies, Sunny Angulo, our DJ, Jeff Boston, to Mama Tess, who dropped off some incredible food back there as well. I also want to thank Tahana Supported Housing and Mercy Housing for being our hosts tonight, and to commend them for their incredible work providing permanent housing to those that have experienced homelessness. For those that don't know, Tahana is a Filipino word. It means home, and I so appreciate the people of Mercy Housing who've given their residents here a home. And if anyone wants to learn more about them, you can go to mercyhousing.org. I'd also like to acknowledge, I know Sunny did, some of our amazing guests here tonight. We have the Consul General and Vice Consul General of the Philippine Consulate of the Republic of the Philippines here, Neil Frank Ferrer and Adrian Bacay. Thank you. We have our City Attorney, David Chu, our Public Defender, Manaraju, and our District Attorney, Chesa Bowden. We have Leah Lacroix, First Vice Chair and Parliamentarian of the San Francisco Democratic Party. From the San Francisco Superior Court, Judges Richard Darwin, Brian Farrell, and Victor Huang. I know that Supervisors Peskin, Mandelman, Mar, and Chan were hoping to be here, but got held up in a committee meeting. So you can catch them on SFGov TV. Oh no, Supervisor Chan is here, Supervisor Connie Chan. Thank you. Thank you. Fellow commissioners from other commissions across the city, Stephen Lee and Al Perez from the Entertainment Commission. Vikram Ayer from the Workforce Investment SF Board. Charles Jung from the Elections Commission. Some amazing representatives from law enforcement. As Sunny said, we have our Chief of Police, Bill Scott, here with us. Deputy Chief David Lazar. Sergeant Kenny Lee. We have Rich Ju, the Chief of Staff to our Sheriff, Paul Miyamoto. And while I'm new as Commissioner, I think I've worked with all of you in one form or another over the last 5 years, so it's nice to see friendly faces as I take this role. We also have an amazing cross-section of people from the community. You heard from Yolanda Jackson, Executive Director of the Bar Association of San Francisco. I believe somewhere is Mary McNamara, President of the Bar Association of San Francisco. Alan Sampson Manalo from Middlestiff Studios. Dean Ido Taylor from API Legal Outreach. Eleanor Fernandez, Executive Director of the Manila Heritage Foundation. Lisa Mack, President of the Asian American Bar Association of the Greater Bay Area. Carolyn Kabadi, President of the Board of the Manila Town Heritage Foundation. And frankly, I could go on and on and on. There are so many incredible people here that I'd love to recognize and appreciate your amazing work. But unfortunately, I don't want the DJ to play me off at my own swearing in, so I will move on at this point.
He's going to turn it into karaoke.
Exactly. We'll do it. We'll do the karaoke. But I'd like to take a moment to talk about 3 areas and priorities that I want to make progress on during my time on the Police Commission. First, I want to be accessible and accountable to the community. I think for many SFPD officers and many in the community, the Police Commission is too remote, too disconnected, and secluded, and I want that to change. I want to be accessible to the community. I want people in the community to feel safe and comfortable sharing their concerns and ideas with me and with the Commission. Rebuilding trust between SFPD and the community is critical, and that includes the Commission. I also want to be accessible and available to SFPD officers so they can feel comfortable bringing their ideas and concerns to me and the Commission. The relationship between the SFPD and the Commission should be one of respect, honesty, and trust. Whether it's community events, one-on-one meetings, ride-alongs, academy visits, I hope to be active and available as a commissioner. Second, I want San Francisco to regain its momentum and leadership on police reform. I want to start off by rejecting the false premise that we have to choose between public safety and a progressive and reform-minded department. Adopting progressive principles and best practices helps everyone. It can protect communities, build trust, and ensure that officers are prepared and best equipped to serve the community. As Brian and Yolanda mentioned, I've spent years working on criminal justice reform in San Francisco and across the country, and I plan to bring that experience and continue that work as a commissioner. A few examples of efforts I'm already working on, because as you might have mentioned, I was actually sworn in by Microsoft Teams about a week and a half ago, so starting this week, I plan to work with fellow Commissioner Max Carter-Oberstone and the SFPD in efforts to end racially biased stops in San Francisco and to reduce the racial disparity in police interactions. Recent data shows that Black San Franciscans are being stopped and searched between 6 and 10 times more than white San Franciscans. And simply put, this disparity is unacceptable. With the support of my fellow commissioners and the department, I will do everything in my power to make progress on this issue. Also, I'm pleased that Acting Commission President Cindy Elias has asked me to spearhead the Commission's work on updating SFPD's policy on search warrants, and I look forward to collaborating with the department and the community on that soon. The third thing I want to talk about tonight is I want to do everything I can to help the AAPI community feel safer. I'm so privileged to be the first Filipino-American police commissioner, though Vice President Elias reminded me she is half Filipino. I think the police commission should reflect the diversity of our San Francisco community, and I am so honored to be a part of that. It is no secret that we're living in an unprecedented and terrifying time of anti-AAPI violence. Just a year ago, we watched with horror as violence unfolded in Atlanta, and sadly, in the year since, have seen more violence unfold across the country and here in our home of San Francisco. It's scary. I know there have been times I've told my own mother to not go out alone if she can avoid it. As a member of the Police Commission, I will work tirelessly with my fellow commissioners, with Chief Scott, and with the department to combat anti-AAPI violence in our communities. As I mentioned at the start, Tahanan means home. San Francisco is our home, and we deserve to feel safe, secure, and at peace in our home. I want to thank all of you again for coming and being a part of this event. I know today's a celebration, but what comes next is the important and critical work, and I'm eager and ready to get to work. I hope that for every single person here, this is just the beginning of our work together, and that we can be partners on behalf of our shared home, our tahanan, San Francisco. As we say in Filipino, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Thank you all very much for coming. Please enjoy the celebration, enjoy the food, enjoy the drink, and thank you very much.